All right, let's dive into a plant that chances are you know all too well. We're talking about the one, the only, the incredibly persistent bindweed.
And you know what? That's not even an exaggeration, is it? If you've ever been on your hands and knees pulling out those vines thinking you've won, only to see them back with a vengeance a week later, yeah, you get it. This plant has absolutely earned its reputation as the unkillable foe.
So let's formally introduce this botanical champion. Now, scientists call it Convolucus arvensis, but over the years, we've given it a whole collection of names. And those names tell a story about our very, very complicated relationship with it.
I mean, just look at this. These names tell you everything. In Spain, they call it corejuela, which means little runner. Kinda cute, right? And in the UK, you get the sweet Granny's nightcap because of the flower. But you gotta love the one from the American Great Plains farmers. Devil's guts. That just perfectly captures the feeling of pulling up those tangled, endless, reddish roots from the soil. Okay, but here's where we're gonna completely flip the script. Instead of asking the usual question, how do I kill this thing? We're gonna ask something totally different. What if bindweed isn't the enemy? What if it's a messenger trying to tell us something important about our land?
And that question, well, it changes the whole game. The moment we stop seeing this plant as a personal attack on our garden and start seeing it as ecological feedback, everything shifts. You can move from pure frustration to having an actual strategy. The plant isn't the problem. It's just pointing to the problem.
So when you see a huge flush of bindweed, it's practically shouting a message at you. It's telling you, hey, this ground was recently disturbed, maybe tilled or scraped. It's saying, this spot gets tons of direct sun. And here's the kicker that surprises people. It's often a sign of fertile, nitrogen-rich soil, not poor soil. It's simply showing up where the conditions are perfect for it. Now, to really appreciate its incredible resilience, we have to go underground, because what we see on the surface is just a tiny fraction of the story. The real genius of bindweed is its hidden empire, operating completely out of sight. 6 meters. That's almost 20 feet. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how deep a single bindweed taproot can plunge, tapping into water and nutrients that your other plants can only dream of. That's why it looks so happy and green in the middle of a drought when everything else is wilting. It's literally playing on a different level.
And it's not just a physical bully. Oh no, bindweed actually wages chemical warfare. Its roots leak out these things called allelopathic compounds, which basically stop the seeds of other plants from sprouting and stunt the growth of its neighbors. It's literally engineering the whole area for its own success. And you might not believe this, there's an upside. For all its competitive spirit, bindweed provides an amazing service. Its flowers bloom nonstop for over 100 days. From early summer straight through till the first frost. That makes it an incredibly important food source for bees, butterflies, and moths, especially in late summer when not much else is flowering.
Okay, so we've got this new respect for its intelligence, right? So how do we actually manage it? Well, we need a totally new set of tools. The idea here is to stop being a warrior, constantly fighting, and start being a designer, creating an ecosystem where bindweed just doesn't have the upper hand anymore. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at the warrior's tools: tilling, spraying, pulling. It's a cycle of endless frustration because you're often just making it worse by chopping up those roots. But the steward's tools? They're about changing the conditions. You're not fighting the plant, you're changing its environment. Because for all its incredible strengths, bindweed has one giant Achilles heel. It absolutely needs sunlight. Darkness is its kryptonite. So, blocking the light is your #1 weapon. You can cover a patch with a dark tarp for a whole season. That's called occultation. Or pile on a super thick layer of mulch. Even better, plant a living mulch, like a dense ground cover that will shade it out for good. Or, here's a thought, get someone else to do the work for you. Goats and sheep actually love to eat bindweed. It turns out it's pretty nutritious for them, a lot like alfalfa. So, by letting them graze a patch over and over, they force the plant to burn through all that energy stored in its deep roots, eventually weakening it. You're literally turning a pest into free animal feed. And if you want to take turning an enemy into an ally to the next level, try this. You can actually harvest the bindweed and make something called fermented plant juice. You just take the fresh vines, mix them with brown sugar, and let it ferment. What you get is a powerful, high-nitrogen fertilizer. You are literally taking all those nutrients the bindweed pulled from deep in the soil and giving them back to the plants you want to grow. How cool is that?
So you see where this is all going. The ultimate goal isn't to completely eradicate bindweed from the face of the earth. That's probably impossible anyway. The real goal is to manage the ecosystem so it becomes more balanced and resilient, a place where bindweed can exist, but it can no longer dominate everything.
And that means you get to be smart about it. In your main vegetable garden, where it's competing for light and water, yeah, suppress it with mulch and shade. But that patch along the back fence row, maybe you just let it be. There, it can hold the soil together and feed the pollinators for 3 months straight, all while costing you absolutely zero effort. So, here's the big takeaway. The next time you see a patch of bindweed, try not to see just a weed. See a mirror. It's reflecting the story of that piece of land back at you. It's showing you its history, its health, where it's been disturbed. If you can learn to read what it's telling you, you'll know exactly what to do next to help your land heal.